Yeah. Once again, back is the incredible rhyme animal. All right, thank y'all for coming. This is Noel A. Booker Sr. I'm the CEO at Business Credit Builder .us LLC. Today, we're going to talk about funding options for small business, okay? And so I have a new funding source that I'll be sharing with you today, and the different products that you could get money from, okay? If you can see my screen, you will see my contact information, which is my telephone, my email, right? So at Business Credit Builder, what we do is we help entrepreneurs and small business owners build their business credit and access funding. And I have a new funding source, ROK Financial. And I'm going to show you their products and how you can get access to them. Okay. What am I doing? Okay. Here we go. We're just going to get started. All right. Y'all can take notes. At the end of this presentation, I will have a loan officer come on the call. He's scheduled to come on at 7:30. And he's going to be able to answer all of your questions. Okay. So be prepared, write down your questions so you can ask Andrew. Andrew is coming. He's going to be on the call. He's a highly respected loan officer, and he's gotten a good number of my clients funding within a few days. Okay, so we're going to go over the stuff. All right. Okay, you should be able to see my screen. I'm going to see if I can make it more legible for you. Let's see what we got here. Oh, we're going to do that. And then we're going to do that. Okay, here we go. Making sense of the numbers, understanding the financial options, a deeper look. Okay, so we offer working capital loan unique benefits. Okay, so for working capital, right? If you're interested in getting working capital, which means funds to operate your business, these are the situations that you need to know, okay? There's a 24 to 48 hour funding process, so that's pretty quick. Bad credit is okay for working capital loans. Liens and judgments are okay. Okay, the qualifications are, you need 1 year in business, okay? Which means from the time that you signed up for your Secretary of State. You need $25,000 in monthly revenue, okay? Your FICO score needs to be 500 or more. The paperwork that is needed is 12-month bank statements, 6 months credit card processing, statements if applicable, and the application, okay? So that's pretty simple. Working capital loans. This is pretty easy, okay? Compared to other situations, especially if you go to the bank, okay? Okay, what we got now is term loans. Here are the unique benefits of term loans. 1 to 4 years in 1 to 4 year terms, okay? Which means you have to pay off the loan in between 1 to 4 years, okay? Which is standard. Actually, more standard is like a 2 to 3 years, okay? but sometimes you can get qualified for a 4-year term. Okay. You pay it back either in bi-weekly or monthly payments. The interest rate starts at 7.99, true interest rate. There are no prepayment penalties. And this reports to the business credit bureaus, which is important because those payments that you make will help you build your business credit. Okay. The qualifications are you need to be 2 years in business. FICO score needs to be 660 or above. Okay. No bankruptcies, liens, foreclosures in the last 3 years. Okay. The paperwork that is needed is 12 months bank statements and the application. So that's fairly simple. You just have to have fairly decent credit. Okay. Term loans. Okay. Was there anything else in there? Okay. Now, revolving line of credit, unique benefits. Okay. So to get a revolving line of credit, and line of credits are different than a loan because on a line of credit, you pay interest on the part of the loan of the line of credit that you use. Compared to a loan, you pay interest on the total amount from the beginning to the end of the loan period. Okay, so with lines of credits, you only pay interest on the part that you use. And when you do make a payment, then your line of credit goes back up depending on what you pay. So it's like a revolving situation. Okay, so you need to be, there are up to 24-month terms. Okay, so they'll give you this line of credit to use for 2 years. You pay it, you can make weekly or monthly payments. And this is a true revolver, which means each payment frees up additional funds on the line. That's what I was explaining to you just now. You can get up to $200,000 funded, $200,000 line of credit, which is a decent, fair amount of money. Usually there is same-day funding after approval. So once you get approved, which only takes a few minutes, you get approved. Okay, and I'm gonna show you how to apply. All right. The qualifications are 2 years time in business. You need $10,000 in gross monthly sales, and your FICO score needs to be 500 or better. Okay, that's not bad, huh? Okay. Okay, the paperwork that you need is 12 months bank statements. You need a voided check, all right? And the application. Simple, easy peasy, right? Okay, so this opens up doors for some people, all right? All right, let's see what else. SBA loans. Here are the unique benefits. These are government-backed funds, which means the SBA guarantees these loans, right? So even if you don't pay it back, the lender gets their money, okay? So these are low interest and they spread, and these are the best. SBA loans are the best loans a business can get, but most people cannot qualify, all right? So let me go over the 3 C's with you, right? So the 3 C's are the strengths that a business needs, and the 3 C's are what lenders look at to determine whether or not you can get a loan. The 3 C's are cash, credit, or collateral. Now, if you have all 3 of these C's, then you can possibly qualify for an SBA loan. If you have 2 of the 3 C's, then you can possibly qualify for equipment loans and term loans, okay? If you have one of the 3 C's, then you can qualify for funding depending on what that strength that you have, right? Now, if you have 0 of the 3 C's, then that's when you start building up your business credit and you schedule a business credit consultation, right? So there's something for you. We can get money for you, all right? So let's continue with this SBA stuff. Here goes the unique benefits of our SBA loans. They're government-backed, 10-year terms, the prime plus 2%, all right? Interest rate, which is very low. Approvals within 24 hours. And that's a unique benefit right there, because a lot of times if you go to a bank, it's going to take you a month or more to get approved for an SBA loan. 4 to 8 week funding process. The qualifications are that you need to be in business 2 years. 2 years profitable business tax returns. Okay, so you got to have those tax returns. You need a FICO score of 675 or above. Okay, so the SBA loans are more stringent to be able to get approved. Okay, the paperwork that is needed is that you need 12 months bank statements, 3 years personal and business tax returns. Okay, so you need your personal tax returns and you need your business tax returns. Okay, previous year and year-to-date profit and loss and the balance statement. Okay, so you know what the P&L is, your profit and loss statement, which lists your revenue and your expenses, and it lets you know what your profit is for a period of time. The balance statement, that is more, shows your assets, your liabilities, and your equity. Okay, and you get your accountant that will provide that for you. Okay, business debt schedule. So the debt schedule is how much you owe and your plan to pay what you owe. Okay, and that's something that your accountant puts together for you as well. You need the application, and there is also an SBA questionnaire. Okay, so that's the information about the SBA loans. And like I said before, the SBA loans are the best situations to get money for your business because it's low risk to the lender. So they charge you low interest and they spread out the term of the loan further, right? Okay. Next up is equipment financing. Equipment financing. So equipment is for any machinery that your business needs to operate. It could be vehicles. It could be any machinery that puts together whatever you're selling, right? But a lot of my clients, they get vehicles or a fleet of vehicles. Excuse me. Okay, so that's what we're talking about when we're talking about equipment. The terms of these type of loans go to 1 to 5 years, which is pretty decent. Variable rate of interest, and it depends on your credit, all right? It can start as low as 8%, which is not bad for equipment loans, okay? You pay these loans back monthly. A full payment is a write-off structured as an equipment lease. So, which means this: if you decide to say, okay, I want to just pay this equipment off, then it'll be a write-off, meaning it'll be placed on your profit and loss as an expense, okay, which is good. Compared to, normally you would list your assets on your balance sheet, okay? That's the difference. And the write-off means that writes off, it lowers your taxable income, okay? Which makes your taxes payable lower, okay? So if you want to take advantage of that option, okay? The qualifications are that you need at least a 550 FICO score, which is not bad. 550, shoot. 1 year time in business. You only have to be in business 1 year to do this, right? You need the paperwork that's needed is 12 months bank statements, an application, and an invoice. This is the invoice. Like, see, what you do is you go to the dealer, or let's say you're buying a vehicle. A lot of my clients are freight companies, and they go to the dealership and they get the invoice of the truck that they want to have. And then with that invoice, then they know how to, what you're buying, and they pay it right out for you. And you just drive off the lot. That's how it works, okay? All right. Accounts receivable financing, okay? We have revolving accounts receivable lines of credit, okay? The accounts receivable gets paid down. It frees up funds to pull from the line, like I said before, with the revolving lines of credit, right? You can also integrate this line of credit with your QuickBooks, right? 12 months terms, right? So they give you this line of credit to use 12 months based on your accounts receivable. So that's your invoices that you have outstanding, people that owe you money. And you can borrow against that money that people owe you that you have not collected yet, okay? You got 4 to 7 days from application to funding. So that's relatively quick, 1 week to get you funded. And the qualifications are, there's no minimum credit score, because your invoices, your outstanding invoices, the people that owe you, that's your credit. The qualifications also include $1 million in annual revenue is required. Okay, that's a stringent one. I'm not gonna lie. $1 million in annual revenue is required. $100,000 in open accounts receivable on 30 to 60 days, okay? The paperwork needed is 12 months bank statements, an application, 3 months profit and loss statements, previous year's tax returns, and an accounts receivable aging report. So the accounts receivable aging report is a list of everybody that owes you, and it shows also whether or not they are 30, 60, or 90 days past due on that invoice. Okay, so that's what an aging report is. Okay. Collateralized programs. So this is for when you have collateral. Okay, when you have collateral, which means you got property, you have equity in your home, you have equipment or inventory in the amount of $100,000 or more. Okay, 1 to 5 year terms. Rate is variable. Daily, weekly, or monthly payments. $1 million maximum amount for first funding. Okay, 65 to 100% loan to value depending on the program. Okay, so the loan to value means The 65 would represent how much you would get if 65% of the value of the property or of your asset, right? Basic program requires qualifications, no FICO score, 2 years time in business, 20,000 per month in gross sales. Basic collateralized loan needs to have real estate or raw land with equity in it, okay? That's the collateralized. Okay, the paperwork needed is 12 months bank statements, an application, and the real estate asset list. That's simple, your real estate asset list. The Premier program requires a 620 in FICO score, 2 years time in business, 1 million in annual revenue for Premier program. The paperwork needed is you need a business debt schedule. I already told you what that is. The previous year personal and business tax returns. Okay, so that's only 1 year of tax returns needed for this, personal and business. Okay, you need a year-to-date P&L and a balance sheet. Okay, and you need your mortgage statement. And this is for the collateralized programs, okay? Next up, okay, that's it. Okay, so we got, we have Andrew, who should be coming on the line shortly. I don't know if he's here yet. Andrew, are you here yet? Doretha Dot asks, can you assist with the EIDL loan application form 4506-T? I don't do that. Yep, I don't do that. Yep. Okay. Anybody got any questions while we wait for Andrew to step on in, if he hasn't gotten here already? He should be here shortly. Anybody got any questions? Okay, let me remind you about, let's say you don't have any of the 3 C's, right? Which is cash, credit, or collateral. Then what you do is you start building business credit. And as you build business credit, starting from scratch, we can show you exactly what to do. We help you build your business credit, okay? So don't fret if you can't qualify for any of this stuff. We start building your business credit, and that's how you get access to more and more money. And as you build up your business credit, there'll be a certain point in time where you can actually apply for loans that you can qualify strictly on the strength of your business credit, okay? Any questions? Any questions at this time? Oh, who we got here from ROK? I see somebody in there from ROK. Is that you, Andrew? Yes, sir, it is. Okay, grab a mic and let's see if anybody got any questions. I know Doc got some questions. Who else is in here? Chantel, April, you've been in here before, April. That's a familiar name. Okay. Andrew said, wait for one second. He'll be right on. He's getting situated. Hello, Tina. Nobody got no questions? Anybody got any questions about business credit before we get Andrew on here? Then you can ask questions about the lending situations.
Hey, Noel, can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me get the camera on. What's going on, Noel?
All right, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
All right. How you like them reviews I hit up for you?
I know they were good. They were good. The
Great.
we had some good successes recently too.
That's right.
Yep. We
Yes,
had
sir.
we had the one we did the one deal for the real estate investor.
Uh-huh.
We freed
Oh,
him up.
Breeze Investment?
Yep. Yeah, I think we freed him up about what was it, 70,000 in working capital, and we also established like a business line of credit for him too. I think at like 50,000
Oh,
revolving.
wow.
Yep.
Oh, wow. And you know what? He came through my business credit program, see? And he worked on his personal credit. And now he's talking to you and getting what? Access to over $100,000. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
this is real.
already
This is real, everybody. Go ahead, man. Is
he already
anybody you still setting
stuff.
up your camera? Okay, anybody got any questions? Come on, April, no questions at this time. Thank you. Great presentation. Yes, I follow you all the time. Yeah, she's always in here. I remember her name. Thank you very much, Miss April. Okay. Anybody got any questions? Okay. Well, let me see if I can think of a question for you, Andrew.
Yeah, no big deal.
So let's say I've been in the business for a couple of years, and I need to get a vehicle or two for my business. What do I need?
So like a good starting point there too is like, especially if they came through your program and they already established some business credit, that helps a ton when we're trying to do equipment financing specifically. Because equipment financing, it's almost like a traditional product. So it's in that in-between space of being like an alternative product and, straight from US Bank, because, they do a ton of equipment financing as well. But so what's going to be important there is, instead of, have you ever bought like a lawnmower or any like big piece of equipment from like a Home Depot?
Right. Okay.
So they'll offer you like a consumer loan, right? Typically, or when you go to get like a car at a car dealership, you're getting a consumer loan. That's going to show utilization on your personal credit report. Now, when you're dealing with like commercial equipment, they do reference your personal credit, but they're underwriting it off of the business. So it's not gonna show like credit utilization on the, like on your personal side, and the business is going to be held liable for the equipment itself. So what's important there is, you have a bit of cash flow going on. You definitely want to be an established business. It's hard for them to underwrite, like commercially if you're just starting up. And if you have really good personal credit, you can leverage it and start to build the business credit through like a commercial equipment loan.
Okay. That's a good
So
one.
usually like approvals are going to be higher there rather than like on the unsecured side, because the equipment is almost backing the loan a bit, because if you do default, they're taking the equipment back. So that's kind of their collateral there. But when we're working on like unsecured working capital, the only collateral there is really the historical cash flow of the business. So if you are like a bit lower revenue earning company, you're just starting out, or maybe you're looking to expand, equipment financing could be good, but you definitely need like a strong personal credit, like 650, 700 plus.
Okay.
We've seen
Okay.
approval, or your best shot at it.
All right. Dorothy had a question. She says, is he part of the SBA? I'm gonna let you answer that question. I know the answer, but I'm gonna let you answer that.
No, so we're not directly part of the SBA, nor are we like directly underwriters. We do work with like a network of various banks around the country, though. So we have access to SBA programs, yes, but we're not the SBA directly. Like another thing to note about the SBA as well is, almost every single major bank offers an SBA product, but they're not the SBA directly as well. What the SBA does is they offer to cover, right? In case of a default, they will almost insure the bank on the loan that they're giving you for a certain percentage. So that's how they're able to keep costs lower on the SBA side compared to, like most other financial products.
That's right. Okay, so cool. I got another. Anybody got any questions? Y'all can just raise your hand, open up your mic. I'm gonna ask you another question myself. Okay,
Yep.
Just questions off the top of my head. Okay, just to make some conversation. But let's say I'm a hairstylist, right? And
Yep.
I want to get a facility so I can bring my clients, so I can stop bringing them into my living room, right? So what's the process if I need to go get me a lease and I need to buy a couple chairs and to get some plumbing set up in my new facility? What would be my train of thought to try to get this funded?
So realistically, you would want to, first you need a location, right? But realistically, you would want like a commercial mortgage on the property, but that might not be accessible for you at the time. So one thing is, and we do this a lot, is if their credit's not where, it's not high enough to secure a commercial mortgage through their bank, like an alternative to buying the facility right away is leasing it. So in order to do that, you might have to say you don't have $10,000 on hand, right, to cover the first, 4 months of rent, right? But your cash flow is strong enough to support some type of working capital, whether it be like a line of credit, term loan, any type of other, like working capital product that we could provide on like the shorter term scenario. That'll get you into that location. You'll be able to cover, the first few months of rent while you're paying that back. At that point, we can look to refinance, right? If you need more cash to keep paying the lease. And at that point, now you're already in the location. You had a bit of money to start expanding into that new location. You put chairs in there, you have mirrors, whatever other, like small equipment you need. You're not going to finance a chair. But at that point, now you're able to get into this location with a little influx of cash that you didn't have before, which is, better than staying at home.
Okay, good. Georgiana got a question. She says, do you guys do SBA 504 loan for a business property, specifically a nursing home?
Yeah, so the 504, typically the 504 is going to be directly tied like to the real estate itself. So like the 7A Express, which we do as well, that's mostly going to be like a working capital type of loan. The 7A can have like the 7A, not the Express, can have a bit of mixed use there. The 504, a lot of being approved for that, it's going to have to do with the location of the property, like geographically, and depending on if the SBA is willing to take a look at that specific property in that specific location. So yes, we can do it, but it's hard for me to give like an exact answer until I knew more about like the property itself. And then I think I saw.
I got another question. Dorothy says, why should we use your services compared to other competitors?
So, like one reason is we help a lot of people, and I like to think we do good business. We have, reviews that reflect that. Check us out on Google. Between like 5 different review platforms, we probably have around, I don't know, I want to say like just under 1,000 reviews probably. And the reason that's important is because, there's a ton of companies out there that have 1,000 reviews, but we've accumulated that over the course of about like a little over a year now. Everybody that's been working at Rock Financial, most of us have been together for, almost 10 years now, but we branched off from another company about a year back. So what happened was a lot of the management team there, and the current owner of our company, they wanted to branch off into a different direction, kind of rebrand as Rock. But what came with that was the experience of the employees and all the lending relationships that we developed over, almost 15 years at the prior company. So another thing to note too is like, not so much with the SBA, because the SBA is, everybody offers an SBA product, right? But in terms of like alternative finance and working capital, we work with 100 of, the most competitive private banks in the country. So through that, we're able to kind of make them compete against each other, essentially. So, for example, Noel comes in, he owns a construction company. That's like a big industry for us. What we're able to then do is when we send him to underwriting, we'll have his file reviewed by about 10 or 12 different underwriters. Then we'll have a few options come back. And from there, we can, one, pick the best offer. Two, we can have them compete against each other to even drive costs lower and terms higher. So that's the advantage of like working with a broker versus going directly to the source. Another thing to note too is like, if you were to try to find some of these companies yourself, one, it's hard to find them because they're private lenders, so they don't do a ton of advertising. And two, you're really narrowing down your choices a lot when you can have, a marketplace versus going to one store directly.
Good answer. We got another question here. Let me see. Makisha says, I hope I pronounced that right, but she says, Miss Williams, Ms. Williams Thompson says, does this same strategy work for a daycare facility?
Yeah, that's a funny question. I believe it was a few weeks back, we actually had a daycare facility in California. They were doing some renovation. Now, the reason they were doing the renovation is she changed locations and she only had about, I think, a week and a half to get out of the old location into the new one. And they needed to install, some stuff for the kids to actually be able to go to daycare. They were already working with a major SBA approved bank. And what happened was they couldn't provide like a third years of tax returns. So that SBA deal fell through. We were able to get them a term loan while they were trying to square away on, how they can get that other tax return valid for, 2 years ago, I think it was. And the term loan that we got her was actually so cost effective that she got into the new location, was happy enough with that she said, I'm not even going to bother finishing with the, the 7A Express that she was pre-approved for. She just stayed with that product and, she'll refinance that if she needs to. And I think 3 months now. And if not, she's just going to pay it off because she's already in the location. She got everything done she needs. So at that point, she'll either come back and, refinance that with the lender that we hooked her up with, or she'll just, she doesn't even have the working capital need at that point.
Good deal. Good deal. Georgiana says, what's your timeline? What timeline are you talking about, Georgiana? You can open up your mic if you'd like.
I was asking about the timeline as far as the SBA 504 loan for the real estate property for the nursing home.
So on the 504, like with any SBA product, once it's in underwriting, a lot of it's out of our control because at that point it's kind of up to the major banks, which tend to be slower. So for the most part, and what I've seen, those can take up to a bit over maybe around like 45 days. I've also seen them take up to 6-7 months. So like on that program, it can take a while because it's more of a traditional program. Everything else that we do, it's usually about 1 to 5 days turnaround time.
Good deal. Good deal. Dorothy sent me a message. She says, how long have y'all been in business?
About a year, like under the Rock name. Like I said before, though, we rebranded from another company in the space that's been around for, a bit over 15 years. So, essentially 15 years, but under the new name about a year now.
Good deal. Let's see. Any construction companies still the hardest to get funding? Or are construction companies the hardest to get funding?
I would go as far as to say construction probably the most popular industry for us. Now, if we're talking like working capital for construction companies, we do a ton of those deals a month. If it's like a ground up construction project, that's not really our specialty. That's more of like a traditional bank product when, if they need complete financing for a construction job. But if we're looking to get someone working capital for materials, get them a line of credit, maybe to pay the employees for a few weeks before they get paid for a job, that's like a major thing for us. We probably raise about $10 million a month in construction loans alone.
All right, that's good for her because Dot, she's into rehabbing stuff and doing construction as well. Georgiana got a question. Do you have any products for commercial real estate besides the 504 loan?
So we do offer a fix and flip program. So like if we're talking about like actual like real estate programs like tied to the real estate, we offer a fix and flip program, which is pretty much experience based. They're going to want to see that you've completed, I believe it's about 3 fix and flips in the past 24 months. Also, they're only looking at residential property. So they're not doing any type of commercial fix and flips at this time. But like we work with real estate developers all the time. Like Noel had referred someone to us who's big into real estate development. He was already kind of linked up with the hard money stuff. So he was doing fix and flip. And he kind of just needed some extra money for like renovation costs. I think he was doing some advertising too, because I think he runs like a real estate course as well, right, Noel?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he needed working capital around that. So we were able to help him with that. He didn't use us for the fix and flip, but we do have an option for that. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Any more questions? Chantel, did you have a question? Okay, that's cool. All right.
Can I ask a couple questions?
Go ahead, do your thing. Who's that? What's your
This is
name?
Makisha.
All right.
So my first question was going back to the same strategy. Does the same strategy work for the daycare facility? So the question I have regarding that is, there's a lady in my community. She's a senior citizen. She's been in business for well over 16 years, and she is looking to sell the property that the daycare is in. It is a commercial property, and she's still running the daycare. So I do, my question is, do you all help with purchasing of the property? And then with me having a partner who's been in childcare for 5+ years, who already have the credentials and qualifications to continue on with the childcare, will that count as for the cash flow? She
owns a business currently, like a daycare facility.
My partner? Yes.
Yeah. So what would happen in that scenario is that would kind of be like it would be a business acquisition, right? So for that, where we are limited through the SBA, unless, do you know the purchase price?
$175.
And do you know roundabout, if you don't know, that's fine, but do you know kind of what your partner does like in her business currently on a monthly basis?
What you bring in monthly? Average, about 20.
About 20. So what would need to happen there is like the first thing is the SBA, they'll get a little finicky, right? So they want to see that we have documentation up front. The most important thing is that there's like a buy-sell agreement in place. They want like the exact purchase price. The other thing is for the buyer, they're going to want the past 2 years of like a personal financial statement. And then the flip side of that is, so for any of these acquisitions, you do need the seller to kind of be willing to provide documents as well in order to help you secure financing, because the SBA, they're going to underwrite the current business as well. So they want to see like the current business bank statement on with the business that's being purchased. They would want to see like a debt schedule from that business.
Okay.
Typically credit-wise too, for an acquisition, they would want you to be around definitely 700 plus there.
As far as a credit score.
As far as a credit score, yeah. And the SBA too, like it's tough because we send them stuff for that, right? And then we'll hear back, and it's either like they're interested or they're not interested. So like a lot of the other stuff, we have a lot closer relationship, like with the lenders we work with. With the SBA, it's kind of like a government thing and a big banking thing. So can't be super involved in the process there, but we can definitely help you start the process.
Okay, and then my other question was in regards to the fix and flip program. So
Yep.
I currently have a property on the south side of Chicago that needs work done on it, and I am looking to rehab it, fix it, and flip it. What are the qualifications for that particular program?
So for that program, you need to be purchasing the property, or like it needs to be a property being purchased. It can't already be owned.
Okay.
So like that, what you're trying to do would be more for like a rehab thing. Like, do you own the property outright?
Yes, it was quick claim.
And have you tried to do, like, we don't do this, but I can give you advice. Have you tried to do like any type of like home equity line on that?
No, I have not.
So the first thing I would do is like, that's going to be like the prime traditional banking product. And like, once again, like we don't do this. Like, this is going to be like with like, you know, your bank that you do your banking with. But usually the cheapest way, if you're looking to just pull some equity like out of the place itself to put back in, you could like explore like a home equity line of credit through the bank.
Okay. Okay.
Other than that, you're kind of limited to like a personal loan there, or using credit cards.
Okay, so this is my last question. Let's say
Yep.
that I wanted to purchase a property and rehab it. What are the qualifications for that?
So the fix and flip program,
Mhm.
it's going to be more experience based, right? So you can get away with having like a 650 credit on that program, but what they want to see is like past experience. So they'll ask you for what's called like a HUD-1 statement. So they would ask for like one HUD-1 statement for each fix and flip that's been completed in the past 24 months. If you don't have that, it's hard to do the fix and flip program, just because it is like an experience-based lending program.
So with that being said, what if because I didn't do my last fix that I just recently did was out of pocket. But I do have, as far as like verification or proof, I do have pictures from beginning to end because it was a complete gut. And so I do have like I have all receipts. I have pictures documented from beginning to end. As far as that, and then right now we are working on a basement unit in an apartment building.
Okay. Like we could take a look at it. I think it might be tough to do just because like they require 3 completed within the past 24 months.
Mm-hmm.
But we could take a look at it if you want to like connect after this.
Okay. How do I get your information?
I'll tell you how to do it.
Yeah,
What
I
you
can
do
put it
is
in
go.
Noel will give it directly to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what you do, if y'all are interested in applying, what you do is go to my website, businesscreditbuilder.us, and that's the page that you see up. And there's a button that says Get Funded Now. You see that button? All right. Get Funded Now. This is at my website, businesscreditbuilder.us. You click that, and it goes to a quick how to get a quick starter questionnaire. Really easy. And then from my experience with ROK and Andrew and his team, Nick, they contact you within 24 hours and they start working right on your stuff. And all my clients that have gone to them and got funded say to me that their experience was seamless and that, you know, they are very professional. Is Rhonda in the house? Rhonda got funded a couple of weeks ago and she wanted to come on here and tell you all about it, but I don't know if she made it to the webinar. But anyway, you know, they're good people over there. I met them in person. I went to their office, you know, and you know, I vouch for them. All right. They're my new funding source, and they've been putting money in people's pockets. All right. Straight up and down. That's how we do.
We'll be in the new office soon, Noel. You got to come check it out once we move in.
Oh, word? All right, then.
Yep.
We got.
Can anyone still see me?
Yeah.
We got the rock Vespa in the background.
Oh, snap. You got a Vespa.
that'll
All right
be
now.
Walking.
All right, they're moving up. All right. So yeah. If anybody doesn't have any questions, we're gonna end this because I know everybody got stuff to do. We're gonna do another one on this financing stuff next month, at the beginning of December, actually. Okay. So y'all look out for that in your emails. Get your questions up. If y'all got some more questions for Andrew later on, we're gonna be rocking this about once a month and tell you all about the different programs that we have to offer, and even get into more detail later on about the different programs and stuff. So y'all send in your feedback so we can know what we need to talk about, so we can educate you on how to prepare to get your money, right? So make sure
real
go.
quick too.
Go ahead.
You know this as well, but if anyone's in here and they think that they come across business owners on a regular basis, and they can bring like referrals in, meet with Noel about that or hit him up. You can join his team and help bring business owners to us. We do pay out commissions on that, so I would definitely check in with Noel if you're interested in that. But like other than that, if there's no more questions, I'll let Noel wrap it up.
All right, that's right. So if y'all want to offer business credit and loans to your clients, make sure you schedule a free business credit consultation, and I'm gonna make sure you get set up properly. We have a partner program. You see, on my website, we have the partner program. So you click that button, and then it takes you to a situation where you can learn more about our partner program. And so I'm just setting up actually my partner program with the ROK stuff, but we could streamline you. If you're ready right now, we'll get you on board and offering these type of products to your clients as well. And we all get fed. We all have a good Thanksgiving. We can all eat. All right. All right. Thank everybody for coming and taking off the time. We do these about once a month. And the people that I've been sending have been been telling me good things about working with ROK. Thank you, Andrew. Everybody give Andrew a round of applause.
Noel, I'll catch you soon, all right, brother?
What'd you say?
Have a good one. Enjoy the weekend.
All right, man. You have a good one too, man. Take care. Thank you. Everybody, make sure you get your free guide on how to build business credit at businesscreditbuilder.us/free guide. All right. Everybody, have a good night. Thank y'all for coming. Peace. Yeah. That's how we do it, boy.